Hello. For the benefit of people who are watching this in the USA, I want to explain quickly how the British parliamentary system works here in the UK. The country is divided up into constituencies, and there's a member of parliament for each constituency. At least once a week, the member of parliament is supposed to be in the constituency to talk with his or her constituents who might wish to discuss problems that an MP could be in a position to solve. I mean, that's apart from the usual other stuff, like opening schools or giving talks. There's a very strong connection between the constituency and the MP. This weekly meeting is referred to as a surgery, and it was at just such a surgery that a very well-liked and hard-working Conservative MP called David Amess was murdered on Friday by someone who was supposed to be there to discuss a local issue with him. Now, I'm going to play you a clip from a speech made by a Labour Party grandee and big supporter of Jeremy Corbyn. This guy is called Andrew McDonnell, and he said this in 2012. Here.
Direct action campaigns next year on a synchronised basis. I want to be in a situation where no Tory MP, no coalition minister can travel anywhere in the country or show their face anywhere in public without being challenged by direct action.
Okay, and in case you didn't get any of that, I'll read you what he said. I want to be in a situation where no Tory MP, no coalition minister can travel anywhere in the country or show their face anywhere in public without being challenged, without direct action. I am not suggesting that the murderer actually heard or knew anything about McDonnell's speech, but what I am saying is that there is a toxic atmosphere which is part of the Labour Party ethos at the moment, which is having its effect on British democracy. McDonnell was saying that people who support or work for the Conservative Party are so evil that they shouldn't be allowed a moment's rest or any sort of a normal life. He uses words like direct action. And perhaps we can imagine what direct action means. That's open to interpretation. But the trouble with things open to interpretation is that sometimes people have a much stronger interpretation of something than other people might. I'm going to read you something else McDonnell said now. This is a tweet he sent today. That is the day of this dreadful murder. We are all shocked and saddened to hear David Amess has died as a result of this appalling attack. I send my condolences and deepest sympathy to David's family and friends. You know what? As little respect as I have for McDonnell, as much as I loathe him personally, as much as I feel he has some terrible political ideas, I believe he really meant that. But that's the problem with the left. They create this toxic atmosphere, an atmosphere that says, to hell with democracy, I've no time for that, let's try some harassment and terrorism instead. Maxine Walters made a similar speech about harassing political opponents. She did that a couple of years ago, didn't she? But neither McDonnell nor Walters appear to be able to see where this leads. You see, in this case, the murder is a young man from Somalia. I don't know how he got here. I don't know whether this was an Islamist or just a psychopathic type of murder. I don't know whether he came here legitimately or whether he was one of those refugees the French seem to be sending us in such numbers recently. But that's actually not the point. He came from a violent, disorganized, failed state where everybody has exactly the attitude of McDonnell and Walters, where anyone who doesn't agree with you politically is fair game for murder or extortion. And that's where it goes when everyone has that attitude. McDonnell thinks he can say what he wants because he doesn't expect everyone to act on his words. That's his luxury. But if we don't curb that tendency pretty soon, it won't be a luxury for much longer. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.